It's all about learning.
It takes a village here. All right, so now it should be recording. Anybody see any recording buttons or anything?
I do. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see that it's recording. So
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so
we're off to a great start.
yay!
Mary Ann was the recorder, and I'm going to kind of keep our conversation going. So we're glad that you could join us today. And today in our session, we're going to talk about communication tools. We have 9 different tools to share with you guys. All of them are really easy, and we've found them to be very helpful for us in our work. So we're going to talk about them, and if you have questions, let us know, and we'll answer them the best we can and go from there. So Mary Ann, you want to start with your first tool?
All righty. So the other thing is do you guys know each other?
Oh, I'm sorry. Good catch, Mary Ann.
And we just had somebody else join us. Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
And so could you get, who are you? Where are you from?
Paula Kiergaard from Harlan.
All right. Nice that you could join us. We're recording this, so I put lipstick on. Did you guys want to turn around and do that?
Might need to.
Okay, so then we have Kim. Kim, where are you from?
I'm from Missouri Valley.
Okay, and we have Colleen. Colleen, where are you from?
Clarinda.
Linda. Okay, excellent. And maybe I should put on my little gizmo that's broken. Do you see the little broken piece there? Stephanie, could you get me a new one?
I sure would love to try.
All right, maybe I could turn in this computer I don't like, and I could get a new headset instead.
You got a new computer before I did, so I think I should ask you to get me the headset.
We're going to get started here, and I'm going to start and share my screen. And I'm on a learning curve here, so if something goes wrong, try not to laugh out loud. Just turn around and laugh, but don't make any noise doing it. Okay, so sharing my screen, I think. Wait a minute, got to hit another button. See, there are just too many buttons. That's it. Can you guys see my screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so here is our website, and today we're looking at communication. So do you guys all have the website?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody need any help? Nobody's saying anything.
We're good.
All right, so the first one I'm going to be talking about is Skype, right here. And I was just telling, I don't know if everyone was in the room when I was saying that. Last night I was at the Midlands Reading Teachers meeting in Tabor at Fremont Mills, and they had a lady from Mitchellville Skype in and give the presentation. Now, she wasn't in the prison, because that's where the women's prison is in Iowa, but she was an instructional coach at Mitchellville schools. And she was talking about technology and literacy, but Skype worked really well. She shared her screen, and I mean, it was a good deal. So anyway, does anybody ever use Skype? Is anyone? I know that Clarinda does. You want to talk about, Colleen, about what you guys do with Skype?
Sometimes they use Skype and sometimes they use FaceTime. It just kind of depends on how our internet is working. But like I said, we Skype in our Spanish teacher from Spain, and the students, our teacher has it set up so she can actually see her entire classroom from her screen. I mean, she's caught kids with cell phones. So it's working out really, really well. Sometimes the kids, you don't have access to your teacher all the time if you're in Skype, but even at conferences, they set her up and she was there. It was 2 a.m. in Spain when our conferences ended here, but wow. She was up and her screen was there and it worked out really well.
Well, good for her. And good for you guys to kind of problem solve through it and use the technology to make it work anyway. Good example of that. All right, so I have put together under Getting Started, I think I've linked this all right, just a little 3 or 4 thing presentation on each one of these. And so the Skype one looks like this. And one of the things about Skype is, okay, it's free, and they've really improved it a lot. I mean, I used to use Skype, a long time ago, and it was just only one person could be on it at a time, and it was a one-to-one thing, kind of like FaceTime. And you couldn't share your screen or anything like that. And I mean, you can get a paid service with this, but and it's fairly easy to set up an account. So if you don't have an account in Skype, you might want to get one and play around with it. The other thing that's interesting about Skype now is they have Skype for Education. And the things that you can find in that tool are Skype lessons, virtual field trips, mystery Skype, and guest speakers. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I linked this picture out to that site. So keep your fingers crossed while I click on it and see where it goes with this computer that doesn't like to go anywhere. And one of the things that I thought was interesting about this is that it's all set up for teachers to use in the classroom, and it's about using it in a global market. So like yesterday and today, they were having a competition about how far could you travel in Skype. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And you can join it, but Skype in the classroom is a really great resource. The other thing is you can have, you could take virtual field trips, like I said. And the other thing is you can get guest speakers to come in. So one of the things that the lady talked about last night was, I mean, she was phenomenal. She had, I'm going to get it. Sometimes at my age, you have a mind moment where it just kind of skips and you can't find the word, but it's coming. Olympics, a silver medal winner from the Olympics. She had him Skype in with her class. She said who it was, but of course now I can't remember it. But the kids were all excited. And then some big basketball player Skyped in. And so kids are really excited about asking that person questions because I think it might have been, is there a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that's a basketball player? I think it might have been him. And he has a foundation that's an educational foundation, if I've got the right name. Anyway, the point is she got him to Skype in because of this foundation and working with her kids. And her point is that in Mitchellville, it's a really small, it's a small world in Mitchellville. It's a small world here in Council Bluffs next to the big city of Omaha. We just live in a very isolated, small place. And that the more that she could connect her kids with the world out and beyond and go globally, the better off she thought they were. And she was using a lot of the Skype opportunities for writing lessons. So they would do a writing lesson when they were talking and interviewing these guest speakers. So then I was wondering, while I was reading through this, what would prevent your students from being an expert in something? And maybe you could connect via Skype and that your student is the expert in, I don't know what it would be, basket weaving. That wasn't a good example, but it was the best I could come up with this morning. So your student is an expert in basket weaving. Or this is better, chess. Because the national chess competition, I just heard about it on the radio. So your student's an expert in chess. And then other students from around the world or around at least Southwest Iowa could Skype in and ask questions about chess. And the student could show them how to play chess and that sort of thing. So I was talking to Kim before we got started that every single person knows something that other people don't know as much about. So we're all experts in some way. So wouldn't it be kind of fun to have your students kind of write up what they are experts in and put that out there and see if somebody else, at least from Southwest Iowa, would like to Skype in and have your students show them how to do that and be the expert. I just think that would be, that'd be a great thing. The virtual field trips, of course, are great. And a little plug for the AEA. Did you know that we now have Google Expeditions, and you have a kit with a cardboard thing, that you put up to your eyes, and then you're taking on a 3D trip to, I don't know, the Taj Mahal or underneath the ocean or something like that. It's called Google Expeditions.
And then
And it comes with the cardboard thing, and then you put a phone.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do
size inside it. It works on all devices, and we send it out with devices, so you don't have to have the devices. So it comes with the cardboard, this thing, and then the teacher directs the whole thing or with an app on some kind of a tablet device, Android or an Apple device. So anyway, a plug for that. I know I've digressed. So that's Skype in the classroom. Now, how could instructional coaches use that? I mean, you could have the same kind of meeting we're having now with instructional coaches, teacher leaders. Well, you know, it seems like this is kind of like I say the Catholic Church does, is there's a name for the same thing, and there's a bunch of names, and it's all the same thing. That's what they did with confession. Anyway, so whatever you call yourself, you all do the same kind of thing. And so you guys could Skype and share ideas, share your screen, record the whole thing, or Skype with an expert. Who are those experts out there in instructional coaching? They could come to your meeting. So that's Skype. You have any questions?
Well, if you have any questions, our little Skype facilitator just walked into my classroom a second ago. So if anybody wants to ask anything, she's the one who gets all set up with Spain every day.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Okay, so bring her over. Let's grill her.
Let's go.
I don't know if she uses Skype in the classroom or if she uses just regular Skype, but can she bring up all of her lessons and everything on Skype, or is it just?
No, we run a separate computer for her lessons that we just project. We don't use that. We just use Skype purely to see her and hear her.
So if we played with this, maybe, you know, the Skype in the classrooms might be something we want to look into.
Yeah, it might. She might be able to connect as the expert.
I don't know.
Some other people too, if she wanted to. So how has Skype worked for you? Is the obviously this is a great example of using the internet long distance globally.
Yeah, it's
Is
worked
it pretty
well.
clear?
Yeah, when we first started, we used Skype, and then we tried FaceTime also just to see what the difference was. And Skype, there's a lot less lag. FaceTime has a little bit of a lag. So when she's trying to hear the kid talk to her, if she uses Skype, then it's there's no lag, and it's all in real time.
Oh, perfect. So what time does she? What's the time difference?
7 hours.
Wow.
So she starts about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and goes till about 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah, we laugh that she works the second shift.
Wow, that's good. Yeah. So,
but it works well.
And good that you guys figured out how to make it work.
Yeah. We like to decorate her computer some days, put scarves on her.
She must have a really good bandwidth from wherever she's from her home.
Yeah. And we did have to play with that some at the beginning. We had some issues with that where we would lose her, but kind of got her fixed in Spain and made sure that we had everything open here. And since then, we don't drop her. It's clear. Sometimes the other day there was a big thunderstorm in Spain, and she would pixelate a little bit sometimes, but you could still hear her clearly. So.
Oh, good. Well, that's a great opportunity for your kids. So thanks for sharing. Anybody else have any questions?
How did you get hooked up with her?
She was our Spanish teacher here for 3 years first.
Okay.
And then we had a little visa trouble. We thought that she was going to end up with a visa so that she was going to be able to stay. And there was a little bit of a glitch there. So we're working on that still. We're trying to get her back with us. But she's a wonderful enough Spanish teacher that we want to keep her because she's that good. So
Awesome.
Oh, great. So does she record her lessons so the kids can watch them later?
I don't think that she does. I think that it's just the time that they've got over Skype. Although if this Skype in the classroom, like she said, they're just using regular Skype. But if we could use this and record what's going on, that might be helpful for her students as well.
Yeah, I think you can record in Skype, pretty sure, but I'll have to check on that too. But that would be great too.
That would.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Stephanie, and let you go next. Of course.
All right. Well, I think, Marianne, we had next to talk about I think we'll talk about Twitter, if that's okay with you.
All right.
A little bit about how we use Twitter. One thing I want to mention, and you'll notice and it's kind of a convenient, we're talking about communication tools. And here at the AA, we have people coming and going, and in the buildings, you have people coming and going. When you're working with students or teachers or at a distance in Spain, you want to show the students right away how to kind of moderate themselves. So when you have someone come into the room or you move or leave, does everyone know where to mute their mic? So from the Zoom, mine's on the right-hand corner. I'm not sure where, sometimes it's across the bottom, but if you click on the participants, it shows that there's 6 of us. If you click on that, it should appear off to the right-hand side. And this works whether you're in Hangouts, Skype, Zoom, whatever you're in. But just on the right-hand side, when you clicked on that in Zoom, can you see all the participants' names? So that's handy. You know who all is in the group. And then you have the ability to mute your mic. And you also have the ability to mute your camera. We always talk back and forth in our AA. We turn our cameras off when we eat quick or do something because you don't want to see what we're eating today or hear what we have here when the people come into our room. So that's just a good thing when you're working with the online communication. I don't even know what we did with it, Marianne, but a couple years back we made kind of a fun etiquette online video. We should try to find that and post that to the site.
I remember that.
But anyway, that was just kind of something that we've learned along the way. And as you bring more students into this world, it's just a good thing to show the kids right off, and it's a good thing for us too. So with that, we'll go ahead and talk about Twitter. How many of you guys are currently on Twitter?
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
One.
I put together a 3-slide presentation on
Go ahead, that would be awesome. And
just to show you some things that you might do with it. And so share my screen again.
While Marianne is sharing her screen, it was kind of fun. I found, and I did on our website, Marianne, create a little spot for Twitter.
Okay.
And I loaded on there 50 ways that you can use Twitter in the classroom. And then we really like Kathy Strock and a lot of the stuff that she has available for teachers. And so she has a guide to Twitter. They were both really interesting. So I linked those on the website. The glory of Twitter is that it is an online social network that is only 140 character message. So you can put something quickly and short out there, or you can add a link for them to go and learn a little bit more. So go ahead, Marianne, you want to go over the slides and then we can talk a little bit about Twitter?
Well, I thought, if you didn't know anything at all about Twitter, this right here is a step-by-step guide how to set up an account. And it's put out by Twitter, so that's fairly easy. They should not have set up their own. And then this ultimate guide to all things Twitter is how you might get involved in Twitter in setting up people, what they call your personal learning network, other people that you would learn from and with. And that has a lot of great information, and it's geared towards educators. And this one is Twitter is not hard to use. That one is put out by, I think it's the New York Times. It's a newspaper. And it goes through all of the, how to set up your Twitter account and that sort of thing. It gives you the ultimate guide gives you some great ideas, like don't follow too many people, because then, the ones that you really want to see their tweets will get buried in the debris of the rest of the stuff. I follow too many people. I need to get rid of some of them, but I haven't yet. And then I found this on the internet of ways that instructional coaches might want to use Twitter, and I thought it had some good ideas. So I just let you kind of look through that. So if you could get your teachers on Twitter, then you can follow each other and share ideas and resources internally using Twitter, as well as anybody else who follows you outside of your school. And I think this is supposed to be PLN by reading tweets from educational leaders. Obviously, I must have missed something there. Tweet during a conference. I do that all the time. Instead of taking notes, I just tweet during the conference, and then I can corral all of those tweets and put them into some kind of a note if I want to. But the other thing that's nice about that is people who aren't at the conference, who are following you, can see what's going on. And oops. Hey, here we go. I think this is the most important thing about Twitter. and I am going to move heaven and earth to have this happen. Every school should have a hashtag on Twitter. And one of the big reasons why is because people out there in the non-educational world that I associate with do not have a high opinion of public schools and public school teachers. That seems to be somewhat prevalent. I think we could notice that as we've heard about things lately. And in reality, I'm always telling them, I say, I'm in the schools. I know what's going on. And great things, great teachers. Teachers work really hard. Kids work really hard. There are great things going on. But the only thing that the people who are outside of education hear about is the one time, one thing one kid did, or one time, one thing one teacher did. They never hear about the 99 kids who are really doing great things and the 99 teachers who are really doing great things. So if we had a hashtag for our school district, we need to push out every day, something positive that's going on inside your school, that great things kids are doing. And you need to encourage your state legislators to follow your school's hashtag so that they can get that information. We need to be pusher-outers of good information about what's going on and celebrate what we do. For heaven's sakes, we do a great job. You guys do. All right, so I'm all done off of that. Done. Participate in a Twitter chat. Now, I've participated in a few, and it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like a threaded discussion where somebody will post a question, and there's a way to do that, and that's in those guidelines. So you might consider that. Every single Sunday evening, I think it's around 6 o'clock, Iowa educators from all over Iowa have a Twitter chat. Mm-hmm. There's always a topic, and somebody moderates it, and like 3 or 4 questions they go through and respond to, and respond back and forth to each other. There's a whole method to doing that. We're not going to show you that right now. However, if you're interested, later on, after we're all done with this, we could get on there and show that. And then you might want to consider having a Twitter chat with your teachers and moderate that. So it's just another way to interact. So that's that. And so then the important thing is to follow the experts. So here's a couple of experts in the field of instructional coaching. Are you guys all in the Diane Sweeney training?
We are.
Okay, so if you are, or even if you're not, you can follow Diane Sweeney on Twitter. And then Jim Knight is another instructional coaching expert who will give you great tips on how to work with teachers in this different manner that you're working with them. And so there's his, both of those are their Twitter IDs in how to start following them on Twitter. So I'm all done with that.
Well, and Marianne, I totally forgot to do this, so I'll add this when we're finished later on. But yesterday I was working with Laura, one of our other AA consultants, and we were providing science PD to the group. And one of the things that we've been doing with each of the groups that we're working with, Marianne wants to see each of our districts have a Twitter hashtag, and I think that's so awesome. We've been working with the science group to get them to start tweeting their lessons and examples and what that might look like. And it was kind of funny. It was a fun day, and we had a lot of immersions for the group. But it was, I don't know, almost lunchtime, and I'm like, I haven't even opened my Twitter today. And so I opened Twitter, and the first thing that popped up was the 12 days of Twitter. Have you seen that, Marianne? I think that would be awesome. So what if your district created the hashtag? What if you decided to become the leader as the coach in your district, and to try to get everybody involved and excited about it, you could have your own 12 days of Twitter. So I'll list the steps. I actually just took a screenshot of it on my phone yesterday. But it talks about on day 1 that you'll create your account. Day 2, you'll take your selfie. So it has the 12 days of how you'll use a Twitter. And I think it's a good way to get everybody on board and excited about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you take over, Stephanie, because right now I just came up with, I have evidently, like, I hate this computer. Can I say that again? I hate this computer. It says I have only 9 minutes left on my free account and I need to upgrade.
I saw that pop up just now. Yeah.
So I need to call the techie guy, so I'm going to mute.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys carry on. Otherwise, we're done in 9 minutes.
I don't know if I could talk that fast, but I'll try. So one of the things that we have, There we go. One of the things that we talked about with our science group is when we are doing our own learning and we're preparing, one of the first places that we'll go to is Twitter. We'll go see, what are other people doing. She talked about Diane Sweeney and Jim Knight. We'll look at George Curios. We'll look at different science people. One of the science teachers yesterday said his favorite site on Twitter is the Iowa DNR. He said there's great things out there, and sometimes they throw lessons out there. He's found it to be a really good resource for him. So I just want people to take a chance and look at Twitter a little bit. One of the teachers yesterday said, oh, it's so overwhelming. There's so much. And there is a lot on Twitter. It's a constant thing. I remember when we first learned about Twitter, they said, think about it as a stream. It's a constant stream, and just dip your toes in the water when you have time. That was really hard for me. I found myself going backwards and trying to find out as much as I could and try to catch up on all the tweets that I missed out. And finally, I just got very frustrated and decided, you know what, they're right. I just have to let it go. So I open up Twitter. When I open it up, I see what's happened since I've not been online. And then I do have certain people that I will search because I want to know what they have to say. Or I want to see what they're putting out there so that I can send things out. Another thing that we hear a lot from people is, oh, I'm not really big at tweeting. You don't have to be a big tweeter. I'm probably bigger at retweeting than I am at tweeting myself. I just love to take in and learn and see what everybody's doing. So I guess our advice to you would be to create that account and give it a try. I don't think that you'll be sorry. I'll put the 12 days of Twitter activity up after we're finished today so you can see what that is. And then let us know if we can help you guys. We're trying to challenge the science teachers. What if every day for 1 week you posted one thing that happened in your classroom? Think about the powerful resource that now you and all the other science teachers would have. So that's kind of something that we're doing with that group. So do you guys have any questions about Twitter? Thoughts? Whoever's using Twitter in our crew, what's one way that you're using Twitter?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, I'm trying to cut, laminate, and do learning centers. I have Twitter. We set up Twitter for our school, and we only have like 7 followers because they'd rather Facebook. But we're doing Twitter that way. Then I set up my own because I'm in a new position this year with the TLC with tech integrating. So everything I do, I take pictures of, and I just share out that way, and I get other followers, of course, and stuff like that. And I use it just to find resources as well. And like you said, when I first joined, I was trying to play catch up. Like, oh, screw it, I can't do this. I'll just look and see what I need, kind of like Google Plus. I was like, oh yeah. So I like it for that fact. I can just toot my own horn, and then I have my own documentation too. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna mute because there's people coming in again. I'll listen.
Okay. And I was just looking when Shauna said that reminded me, I'll list that hashtag as well. There is an Iowa, I think it's hashtag IATLC, but I'll double check that. So there's a hashtag for the TLC coaches, and we're trying to use that statewide. So you'll be able to connect with not only us, but you can connect with other coaches in the state. So we were pretty excited about that opportunity for our coaches. So who else is using Twitter?
I use Twitter a little bit, more following people and just seeing what they have to say. Other educators, I do follow the TLC, the IA TLC, and Diane Sweeney. Just, I usually just I'm kind of like you. I do more retweeting than tweeting right now. We do have a tech integrationist, so she does a lot of our school tweeting, and we do have a school hashtag already.
Yeah.
So I just follow that and just more learn than anything.
Yeah. When we were visiting yesterday with the science group, it was funny because someone was talking about reading, and I hadn't really stopped and thought about it very much, but I'm not very good at reading magazines anymore. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I realized all of a sudden, holy cow, I don't know the last time I actually read a magazine, but I'm still reading all of the time. And I started thinking, wow, when I see something pop across my Twitter feed, whether it's e-news or it just depends on what it is, Education Weekly, I will click on it and read the article from there. instead of coming here and grabbing my magazines or my papers. So I'm still reading the exact same. I'm just reading it differently. I just like how Twitter gives me a little brief, here's what's in this article, and then boom, I can read it. And somebody said, oh, I just don't have the time for that. And it's funny because I don't really either. But when I'm waiting for my kids, my son's a wrestler, so if I'm sitting between wrestling matches, I really, truly think I'm reading more than what I was before because it's right there and it's readily available for me. So it's really become a very powerful learning tool, professional learning tool for us. So
I am back.
Yeah.
So theoretically speaking, it's supposed to be a pro account, and it's not supposed to end in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. However, if it does, we'll take a bathroom break, and I'll just start it up again.
Come over again.
That's great.
Well, Marianne, we were just finishing talking about Twitter, and I really encouraged them to give it a try. I'll post the 12 days of Twitter on here when we're finished.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, and some of them already have a school hashtag. Some of them are already following the IA TLC coaches. So yeah, we're doing good. We'll keep the Twitter movement going.
All right.
Do you think we're going to get cut off, Marianne? Do we want to continue talking?
Derek had no idea.
Okay.
He said you shouldn't get cut off. I wouldn't put any money on it.
Well, this could be a fun one. Let's see if we can do Voxer in 2 minutes or less. This
All
could
right.
be a little challenge for me here. So has anybody ever used the app Voxer before? No? Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
I will say that the lady from Mitchellville talked about Voxer last night.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's see here if I can get it to.
Maybe they use walkie-talkies in the prison.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is this what I want you to see? It is what I want you to. Mm-hmm. Can you see the Voxer main page?
I can see the Voxer.
Perfect. All right. I am getting the exclamation in less than a minute, so this could be fun. So here's Voxer. Voxer is really a fun tool, actually. It is a walkie-talkie app. You can use it on it's non-device specific, so you can use it on any of your mobile devices. And I did not know until last night that now you can log in through the computer. So this is really what the screen looks like on your device, and here's what it looks like on your computer. It's so easy. You just download the app. You can create your account or log in through your Facebook or your email. So it kind of eliminates all of that. Getting things created. And it's as simple as pushing this walkie-talkie button down here. So you can hit that button and send a Voxer out to all of your contacts, or you can create groups. And you'll see I have a group right here that Zach and I use with the Creston coaches. So when we box something out to them, the whole entire group receives it. Some of the ways that we're seeing it used, I hear all the time from coaches, athletic coaches, they'll use it to send something out to the athletes or the parents. We, with the Creston coaches, we've been using it to shoot out tips and tricks, and here's a thought for the day, and ponder this, and just kind of getting them used to it and using it and doing some fun things. After Christmas, I think we're going to try to do a book study through Voxer. Zach is out of Minnesota. I'm here in Creston, and of course the coaches are here in Creston, but none of us are in the same building. So we're going to kind of try to create connectedness that way. When Voxer first started out, you were only able to share just voice. Now you can send multimedia. You can have large group chats. This message storage is unlimited, so that is nice. And I just really like